That brings me to talk about the people of Saudi.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to ask you about what experiences were like with the other foreign nationals like Indians and Pakistanis, but you just described the people of Saudi.
Okay, so the Saudi culture, it has a lot of Islamic values incorporated into it. So because obviously Islam was born in Saudi, you have a lot of these Islamic values incorporated into the Saudi culture, and there are certain things like generosity. They're very hospitable people. I can't begin to explain how hospitable and generous they are. So this one time, they give out money like as and, you know. Okay, let me just tell you this instance. This one time it was Tarawih, and I went to my local masjid, and it was filled. So I went. I was a bit late as usual, and then I walked in. As I walked in, there was an old man with me. He was not old, let's say like 50s, 60s, and so he needed a chair to pray. So there were no chairs in the back. So I was like, since I know this masjid, it's our home masjid Mahalla. I told him there'll be chairs in the front, but you can't go to the front because it's filled. No? So I was like, don't worry about it, I'll get it and come. So I went to the front, I squeezed my way to the front, got a chair, and came back. When I came back, I saw him playing, sitting on the floor. So I just left the chair behind him, and I tapped him, and then I joined the prayer. So I didn't think much about it. And then once I was done with the prayer, he came to me and he handed me 100 riyals, and then he was like, ask dua for me, and then he left. So this is just like
100 years.
100 riyals, about close to 10,000 rupees.
In terms of Saudi, is it huge?
Yeah. Okay, I would say in terms of Saudi, I would equate it to 5,000 rupees. So it's pretty
just,
okay.
Just open heart.
Yeah. It's and this is just one instance. I've gotten 100 riyals from random people in like 3-4 times. My brothers too. So they're very generous, hospitable people. Especially if you go to their houses. My God, they're very hospitable people. They'll be like, common phrase is "Al bayt baytak." That means this house is your house. So if you come here, consider it your house. Take whatever you want to eat, do whatever you want. Consider it your house. So it's beautiful. Like even when people build their houses, they have like these guest rooms with like which is so the Saudi people are like people of Qira. They have so they have this protective jealousness towards their women and stuff. No? So that's another beautiful thing about them. So when they build their houses, they have say the house over here, and then usually out of it is where the guest room is. So they build the guest room
So
as
they
well.
build the guest room, but they make sure there is some privacy
Exactly.
that they maintain.
Yeah. But the thing I want to stress is the fact that when they build their house, they make sure to build their
They have something so that someone is
exactly. So it's very nice.
And that's because even in Sri Lankan culture, we used to have that. We used to have this the veranda thing
Yeah,
they built in front of houses, right? So from what I've heard, the stories, the entire purpose of it was that very travelers who
Really?
come in roads and all, they can rest under it, they can sleep under it. Like even my dad used to tell the stories of how their house had verandas. So there would be people used to walk to these communes to Karaamah. So they walk from Jaffna and think on faraway places, they walk barefoot. So they rest under these shade and they keep these pots of water. So I guess it was there in almost every culture, but like maintaining it and carrying it forward. I mean, you didn't have the capability to do it as well. I mean, that's really nice there. Because I've even heard stories like that. It was this Russell Peter story. He just complimented one of his Saudi friends on nice watch, and he just was watching it.
And even the recent players that have been going to Saudi, like Ronaldo, Riyadh plays, and Sadio Mane and stuff like that. I've seen videos of people gifting Rolex watches to them, like as I mean, it's here again, like I said, the Islamic cultures are very much incorporated into the Saudi culture. So even there's a hadith that says, the hadith habu, give gifts to one another so you may increase the love, and they very much act upon that honey. So they give gifts very often to it's like I think that's their way of expressing their love. It's a very common thing to give gifts to random people that they are close.
On top of the flavor sounds like so. What about the interactions with the locals?
Interactions with the locals. Okay, I'll keep this for the end. I'll keep this for the end. I'll talk more about the good side. Okay. Because
I thought you would tell me the good side.
No, I still have a few more.
Okay.
So the first was how generous and hospitable they are, and then the honesty. The honesty is something that I think that was one of the biggest differences when I came here and compared to when I was there. Very honest people. Even now before starting this podcast, you asked me to stay here with the things because our phone and iPad is there. Yeah, it's not a problem. You just leave your stuff and you go to the washroom, go pray, and you come back. Like if you go to these cafes, you see people with their laptops, phones, and all. They leave it just over there. They go pray, they come back while the stuff is just there. It's very it's a nice thing. Even when I came here to Sri Lanka and how like after casualties and stuff, where we have to at night. So at around 9-10 p.m. we have to drop the 9-10 p.m. 8-9 p.m. where we have to drop the women off. That too came as a shock to me because in Saudi women walk alone in the streets even at night. It's not no issues at all. It's like a very normal sight, and nobody's scared for their safety. Even they themselves are not scared for their safety. And alhamdulillah, it's a safe country, and we ask Allah to keep it safe. Saudi, I think, is one of the safest countries in the world. I'm not sure about that. I must check the stats. I think the crime rate is one of the lowest. It's like less than 3% or something. So that's there.
So that's the thing in the country.
Okay, before moving on to the main point, I want to talk about how they respect elders and women. So I don't think in Sri Lanka they respect elders the way people in Saudi. So every time they respect an elder, they make sure to kiss their forehead, and it doesn't have to be their grandfather or related to them. Anybody who is elder to you or anybody who you respect, like I don't know if you've seen these videos where say if there's a sheikh or an imam or something like that, they go to kiss their forehead or their shoulder, and as a sign of respect, so the person, so you are the sheikh and I am somebody greeting you, so I go to kiss your forehead, and as a sign of respect you would like sort of push me away and not allow me to kiss your forehead. Obviously some people might look at it as, okay, look, I'm trying to kiss him and he's taking it away, they feel offended. But in Saudi culture it's actually
showing respect to the person
a form of showing respect to the person who's kissing him. So it's like, no, I'm not that high, you don't have to kiss me, something like that. So not just elders, even women, that's completely different from over here. So you don't get catcalled in Saudi, and like I said, women walk at night, and they feel very safe. Sure, there are minor exceptions and stuff like that, but the majority is
outlier.
Okay, and now moving on to my favorite part about the Saudi culture, and I would say it's more of I wouldn't say it's specific to Saudi, but it's more of like a Gulf thing, where like when you speak to somebody, I would say 50% of what they like, say you meet somebody on the way, 50% of what they of the interaction is them asking dua for each other. So it's like Allah take afya, may Allah give you well-being, or Allah sadak, Allah barak feek. It's like
They just pray for each other.
They just pray for each other, exactly. And I don't know, it's not. I know that seems like, okay, sure, they just pray for each other, but for me at least, it's like when you pray for each other, you like you want good for that person. Okay, so it's not just praying for each other. You want good for other people. Like especially when you're in the masjid and then you hear two people meet each other, and when they greet, they ask dua, and then they talk a bit like how's the family, and then when they're leaving also they ask dua. So it's like yeah, you could say it's like something that's there from their culture itself. So it's like and it's like Allah yatik al-afi, Allah yafik. There's like it's like a greeting like Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. It's like Allah yatik al-afi, Allah yafik. So it's basically the same thing. May Allah give you well-being, but there's like a greeting and a reply for that.
Okay, yeah,
So-
like if you do.
Yeah, something like that. So hayakallah, may Allah give you life, Allah hayyik. Same thing, but it's like the question and the reply.
It's just beautiful.
It's wonderful. It's one of the things that I think if I could choose one thing from all of the Saudi culture, I would say that. So because it makes you want good for others.
I mean, the way you say it, right?
Exactly. So and when you say it, you mean it. So you really mean it. You want good for other people, and that's I think one of the best things about about there. I wouldn't say compared to here. Let's leave that part aside. But over here, I mean, from there, that's the thing that
it's
I
not
really
present. It's not like you don't have that culture here.
You don't have the culture.
It's not a thing. It's not
Yeah,
art,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's good for each other, but it's not like we do that. So it's a
Yeah.
beautiful practice to actually do.
Yeah, that's a wanting good for others.
Yes.
That's what comes from that, and that's what I feel like.
So like moving on to the bad part.
Bad parts. Okay. So you said about racism.
Yes.
Now racism, it's definitely there. If I said that they're not racist, that's racism is definitely there. So when I'm talking about racism, there's like Arab and non-Arab. So no matter okay, say if I was your good friend and we hang out often and stuff like then obviously you're not going to see that Arab and non-Arab. But if say a Saudi or local sees you, he's one of the first things that's going to come to his mind is he's an Arab or non-Arab. Okay, so that's there. And amongst the Arabs, whether he's a Saudi or not Saudi, so do you see like there's sort of levels, and I would say like even
So when these Arabs, they consider Saudi, the Gulf countries.
exactly more superior to like other Arabs,
Okay.
and then non-Arabs even less. So you do hear or feel a tinge of that condescending attitude sometimes when they talk to you. I mean, especially if you are dark skinned,
You mean dark skin as in brown or African?
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
On that spectrum, if you're like towards the darker side, you're going to face more of the risk.
Okay.
So the racism is definitely there. That's
So
not
if you're,
something.
if you're like a fair Sri Lankan, you're safe.
Uh,
Safer than a darker skin.
you could say that, but then it's not like they will do anything to you. It's just like you
The
know the
attitude.
condescending tone, the attitude, something like that. Yeah.
So
So
have you had any experiences with that?
so, I mean, I personally have not had anything because usually they ask me where am I from, and then I'll be like I'm from Sri Lanka, and they're like shouldn't you be darker? And then
So when you say you're from Sri Lanka, they know the country.
okay, so Sri Lanka, most of the Saudi families they have housemates.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the housemates come from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So usually, you know, they think okay, housemates from Sri Lanka. So you know, that's like the level of Sri Lankans that they think of. So it's not just Sri Lankans, you know, Bangladeshis, Indians, and you know those countries. A lot of them go to do like you know these sort of jobs. So that's kind of the mindset they have. Again,
Not
speaking
everyone, yes.
everyone, it's just like you know most of them. So racism is different.
That's, I mean, it's again a thing, right? Like, no matter where you go, you're always not part of that culture. It doesn't have to be Saudi, it could be anywhere. Anyone else coming into Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
non-Sri Lanka, you can't call it, I mean, even if you can call it racism, especially like it's a bit of the change in that, it is different.
If you see a non-Sri Lankan, that's probably one of the first things that you're going to see that he's a non-Sri Lankan. But then again, okay, that reminded me of this. The fact that there are a lot of options that are restricted. So, say there are certain options, say the medical field, for instance. okay, is 100% Saudis.
In Saudi,
In Saudi.
the medical field is the health sector or education?
The health sector, in terms of education, public education is 100% Saudis. So that means the ones where you don't have to pay a dime for. Only Saudis can get admitted to medical education in the public sector. Obviously, in the private sector, you can pay for it and you can go. And when it comes to the health sector, as in the medical field, the jobs, as a non-Saudi, you're going to definitely feel a lot of resistance trying to apply for a job, especially if you're like a general physician or any one of those base doctors. Sure, when you're specialized and when you're experienced, then you have more opportunities. But they've literally said that the medical field is 100% Saudis, and they are Saudizing more fields. I think accounting is also like 90%. Sales jobs are also like 100% Saudis. So there are a lot of jobs there that they are.
It's like, privatized is Saudized. It's an actual Saudized.
Okay, yeah, that is a word there. Saudis. So, and I don't blame them, because when you talk about the population of Saudi, I think it's I can't remember the exact population, but it's like 50% is Saudis and 50% is locals. So, 50% Saudis, 50% is expatriates. So, obviously, a lot of jobs are being taken up by expatriates. So, as the government of Saudi have to first take care of their own country people. So, it's understandable. But then again, it's not too great for us living there.
So
It's difficult to pursue higher studies or get a job if you are.
Something like that. Yeah. So it's very restricted.
It's not like the systemized racism, but it's more like a
Yeah.
measure that they've taken for this.
Exactly. So it was not there, like say 10, 20 years ago. Open and stuff like that. But as they, like I told you about the whole people in their 20s not being able to find a job, and then the government paying them for their expenses, it's basically like a measure to combat that, to combat unemployment for the locals. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's like systematic. Like even when I talk about the racism there, like most of it's usually only from the, like even in Sri Lanka, like the race, you only get racist and like you face this racism from a very the young population that have been brainwashed and like who don't really have that guidance or something like that. So it's just the same.
small mind.
Yeah, small mind. Most of the elders and most of the you could say most of the elders, like people who like in their 30s and stuff like that, they have a pretty sound understanding of like life and stuff, and they're very very nice to people. But then again, like I said, I don't want to like water it down too much. Racism is there, and like they do look down onto non-Arabs. That's something you will definitely feel once you go to Saudi for any case, even for Umrah or for visiting for a job or something. You will definitely be that racism, and I don't know if I can say if it's more than other countries or less than other countries. But that Arab non-Arab condescending attitude will definitely be there, and you will definitely feel it.
So before we move on to like the other things, I just want to like get a baseline on so that we have an understanding about the culture. So we spoke about the people, and we also touched on the safety and the security aspect of the entire thing. So let's not talk about that again.
Yeah.
But so when you talk about like the finances and the language and the cuisine, and food and things, so like something that really interests me in other cultures is language. Right. So I mean, it's something that intrigues me so much,
Really?
like language, and like there was a phase where I was like so interested.